Okay.
sir is going with his video on. Could not see.
A very good evening to my dear MOS members and the ophthalmic fraternity Pan India who have joined today. It's a very interesting webinar. We have the star faculty with us as speakers, as a moderator, and as panelists also. So you are thoroughly going to enjoy. It's out of the way, out of the box thinking by one of our star speakers. She has come with a different topic altogether, curious, fluid, and joyful. That is women empowerment. That is to be taken up by none other than Dr. Kamal Nagpal. She is the daughter-in-law of Dr. Pran Nagpal, the famous retinal surgeon in Ahmedabad, and wife of Dr. Manish Nagpal. And she herself is a big entity in the whole over India. We have a star moderator with us. She is Dr. Archana Chaudhary. She is won the title of Mrs. India 2021. She has won the Public Choice Award. She has won the Best Indian Costume Award. She has done a few fashion runaways, Taj Fashion Runaway and Montrose Fashion Runaway as a showstopper. And she has also won the online dance competition Life Beyond Ophthalmology 2020. She is going to moderate the whole session, and we have the expert panelists with us. We have the vice presidential candidate, my close friend, my co-mate of SN, Dr. Mohan Rajan, who is fighting for the post of vice president. I would request at the start itself that you have to support such a dynamic personality, one of the best entertainers in ophthalmic world, I would say, not only in India, but globally. Then we have Dr. Usha Johri, the past president of Bombay Ophthalmic Association. We have Dr. Karobi Lahiri, the famous retinal surgeon, a good friend of mine, and an SN alumni. She is also a very dynamic lady. She is the chairman of the Women Empowerment Committee, which I have created for the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society out of the 21 committees. And it's a brainchild to have Dr. Kamal Nagpal today, and that is how we are there. Dr. Nikhil Nashta, the blue-eyed boy, who is a star already. He is already taking part in a lot of movies. As a star faculty we have, we are lucky to have him too. And we have Sonal Lakdawala, the famous vitreoretinal surgeon, a good friend of mine. And her husband is a big choreographer. She is, in spite of her keeping not well, she has been part of this. That shows her dedication that we would like to really empower all the women today. So we have all this faculty with us. So where we are going to have the panel discussion, lively panel discussion after a great talk by Dr. Kamal Nagpal. And to moderate this session, I said that we have a star faculty, Dr. Archana Chaudhary. So over to you, Dr. Archana. And I think Dr. Karobi also would like to say a word once you do the introduction of Dr. Kamal. So welcome all of you, and welcome Dr. Rajesh Joshi, is the Honorary Secretary of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, Dr. Rajiv Mundra, the Treasurer, and the whole lot of audience who have joined tonight. So over to you, Archana.
Thank you, sir, for the lovely introduction. A very good evening to everyone here. So in today's highly competitive world, when just studying medicine and pursuing a career in the medical field is so difficult, we have a doctor, a truly empowered lady who is not only a successful ophthalmologist, but at the peak of her career, her medical career and legacy, she chose another road, another path, which is parallel and created a successful niche for herself. Do you really think it's hard for today's educated women to juggle and balance both work, career, family? Our today's speaker has balanced multiple careers. I invite today's speaker, Dr. Kamal Nagpal, an ophthalmologist, a restaurant owner, and a budding painter, She specializes in glaucoma strabismus and she works as a consultant at Retina Foundation Eye Hospital since 1998. She started a cafe as a part of Wellness Institute called Soul Square in 2013. The restaurant soon grew to become an award-winning boutique restaurant, which is well known for its breakfast menus, its fusion dishes, and health menu. It also gave space to many local entrepreneurs, especially women, who could portray and display their arts. A mother of two children, Dr. Kamal Nagpal, has been an avid believer in personal work and advocates an attitude of curiosity, fluidity, and towards joy. She is currently also pursuing painting as a hobby. So we invite her to start her talk. And Kairubi ma'am wants to say a few words before that.
Yeah, I can't stop myself from saying something about Kamal. Kamal is such a good, dear friend for the last 30 years that when she's coming on the podium to give us a lecture, I can't sort of let it go without adding a few things to what Archana has already said. What Archana said is what is there on the surface. We are going to introduce Kamal to you, who is a as she is a person from inside. She is a person who is a very determined kind of lady who knew what she wanted to do years ago. I mean, I remember this is almost 20 years ago that she had a plan of what she had to do. She had to do this thing and she wanted other activities also, like yoga, etc., to be there along with the boutique restaurant. And despite the total number, she has gone through a lot of storms, but she has surfaced through all those storms and she has brought this to realization, giving such lovely, edible, tasty health food that you can just imagine, you know. And her place also is very beautiful. All the college students come over there. They sit, they hang out. So it's really a place that you should visit when you go to Ahmedabad ever. Now, apart from that, she's a fantastic homemaker. You must go and see her house sometime. It's a beautiful house. And also, she is a great host. And we, especially Sonal and me, we have experienced this a number of times. Whenever we have gone to Ahmedabad, we don't stay anywhere else. We just stay with Kamal because it's so nice to be with her and Manish. So, all in all, I would say that with all this she has grown and she has, it's like just kudos to her that she has managed to do so much apart from pursuing ophthalmology and looking after her kids and sort of managing everything in and around, because I remember the times where she used to cook herself, those dishes at home and send it, and she used to innovate, and it was really fantastic. You just have to watch her and listen to her. And all in all, I would say that you see a lovely face over there, a beautiful face. She's going to talk to you. You're going to see the beauty of the face. But we've seen her from inside. She's as beautiful inside with a golden heart as is her face. So, Kamal, welcome to this society, and I want you to go ahead. And if
Just
Sonal wants to add two words, that is also.
Oh my God, the list is long if I have to start describing her. But I learned one thing when I started my fellowship, and that was a time when Kamal had China was just about a year, and I saw that beautiful mother. Okay, and that's, I think, probably one thing that I learned apart from Retna, that how dedicated she was towards the kids. And yes, I must tell you that apart from a brilliant ophthalmologist or a restaurant owner, or great food or painting, you have to see the creative streak that she has in designing her house. The interiors are marvelous, and every time I go there, I love to see the place. It's just beautiful. Kamal, so happy to have you around with us, and we're looking forward to your talk.
कमल तो आई
Go
थिंक
ahead.
बोथ ऑफ यू हैव गिवन द इनसाइट, अंदर की बात बता दी सही सही, द इनर ब्यूटी दैट शी इज. सो ओवर टू यू कमल.
Thank you so much. I'm actually quite speechless right at the beginning of my talk, so it'll be a little difficult to carry on. Let me. Should I start sharing my screen now?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it okay?
please. Yeah, yeah. put it on
Okay,
the slideshow mode.
many thanks to Dr. Jignesh, Karobi, and everyone else for making me a part of the MOS Empowerment series. Thank you so much, Archana, for such a kind introduction to me. Karobi and Sonal, of course, are I consider them chuddy buddies, so they know me really quite well. But it's very warm and very sweet of you to talk about me in all these words. Honestly, I'm none of the above, really. In fact, I'm going to start by this little observation that as I was looking at the resumes which were shared on the WhatsApp group, which was created by Karobi, I realized how different my resume was compared to the others. So that triggered a faint narrative about what business do I really have, in being in this group where I probably don't even fit in, because for almost about a decade I've considered myself as just half an ophthalmologist, not a complete ophthalmologist. But then another voice in my brain came up and it talked to me that because I'm so different, that's the reason why I'm in this group, because we don't really all have to always fit in, and that despite advocating individual development for a very long time, I mean, for the longest time, I've been working on myself and I've been working to open up the stereotypes. I've been working to unbox myself. The voice of that narrative remains really quite strong, and the need and to fit in is just so strongly embedded in all of us that honestly it leads to certain misgivings. But anyways, here I am, and this brings me to the topic of today's talk: curiosity, fluidity, and joy as a means of empowerment. While this, of course, applies to all the genders, not just women, but I think the pressure of fitting in and staying in little boxes is much more felt by women. And what can be more unempowering than not being fully acquainted with oneself and not being free to spend time doing what really fills one with joy? Oftentimes, and especially in the group of people we are talking to today, these limits are really self-imposed. We don't really have to have these limits, but they are a result of societal and ancestral conditioning, of course, to the extent that it becomes a strong subconscious narrative which stays with us nevertheless. The image in front of you is an oil painting by Rene Magritte. It was done in 1929, and the title of this painting is The False Mirror. It's a surreal painting, and it's meant to have a little unsettling effect and help us to understand and make us question what we think we know. So to carry on, in an ideal situation, I believe that children should be encouraged to develop and dabble in self-curiosity, at least as much as they're encouraged to acquaint themselves with an external world and start walking towards a set career path. When stimuli are presented to us, how are we triggered? How do we respond? Instead, that inner voice is more often curbed, and young people are straitjacketed into subjects and vocations chosen by either society, family, or peers. In order to feel secure, we are taught to fit in snugly till we find ourselves fitted into little boxes. Long after we are mature enough to start thinking for ourselves, we still become so easy and complacent in the boxes that we derive comfort in the prisons of our own interpretations, the narrative that was really never ours. So in this image, we see the lyrics of a song written by an American singer, Malvina Reynolds. She composed this song actually into her 60s, and it's called Little Boxes. If you go through the lyrics either here or you can Google them. So it's a satire about our conformist attitudes. So my relevant adult personal journey, which started maybe more than a decade ago, and it's been closely shared by two of my closest friends, Karobi and Sonal, with whom I'm sharing the space today. And it started because of certain circumstances which weren't necessarily too pleasant. And I was forced to introspect very closely. As a mother of two adolescents, I was keenly trying to observe what my children were all about and how they were responding to the world. I found myself face to face with my own inner child, a little girl who could spend hours daydreaming about textures, colors, sensations, fabrics, the idyllic Srinagar outdoors with art materials. She demanded to be heard over the common sense voices which were telling me, "You are so good at academics, you'll be a great doctor. Become a doctor and you'll become a part of an elite society. Girls should become doctors because they are inherently healers. become a doctor and you'll find a good husband. Haha. So the narrative went on and on till my little girl actually realized that, thought that that was her own narrative. I partook as many opportunities towards understanding myself as I could from my core, literally. I wanted to see my inner world, and I realized that my inner world was so radiant, intriguing, engaging, and it was so colorful. By then, of course, I had spent years in the scientific field. I was doing research, I was doing clinics, I was doing surgeries. And these are some very serious investments and talents, and they cannot just be thrown away. So from there, I actually really started my journey, and it required a lot of balance. It required a lot of hard work also, of course. But I decided to go with the flow. I gave up all resistance and I just went to where life wanted to take me. And on the other hand, I tried to stick to the structure which had defined me up till now. I realized how my craving for a fluid attitude or a fluid mindset made me revolt against certain anti-fluid attitudes which we see all along, such as the left-right brain dichotomy. So, it's considered that an analytical person can never be creative, or vice versa. A creative person cannot be analytical, in that sense. An inbuilt ranking system where it's believed that some careers are higher in nature as compared to others. So on the same day, I could actually be in the hospital having done a surgery, and I'm equally comfortable in if it's a crowded Wednesday evening or a Saturday evening or something like that. I'm equally comfortable being in the kitchen of my restaurant. I'm equally comfortable waiting tables at my cafe. I'm equally comfortable even cleaning those tables. So I basically realized that I have no real ranking system. I don't necessarily wait for someone else to come and do my work. I'm just so hands-on with everything that I love to do that I think I'm completely devoid of this ranking system. For me, of course, some professions make you earn more and some make you earn less, but that's no reason for us to rank ourselves higher or lower in that sense. Then I am quite against a sense of disciplinary isolation, where it's seen that doctors mostly have doctors as friends, engineers mostly have engineers as friends, doctors tend to marry doctors, doctors tend to push their children into medical fields, etc. I am very against early specializations in the youth because I think youth deserves time to really understand what they want. And also, there's very little tolerance to experimentation. So for when a young person is about to set on his journey of life, his or her journey of life, experimentation is looked down upon. It's like if you experiment, that means you're a failure, or that means you really don't know what you want, which is all right. I think most of us don't really know what we want into much later in life, or it's just so okay to be making mistakes. So it's like okay, if a young person has made a certain decision, it's almost like that's got carved on stone. It's like, okay, now this is where you're stuck, and you can't really erase this. So now there's this another really strong, basically it's a catch-22 situation which we see day in and day out, and even sharing our space today are some hyper-focused and super specialized stalwarts in our field. And we know that their focus and their being extremely selective about the work that they do have led them to become great doctors. They've reached the pinnacles of greatness. They've done incredible work for themselves, for the society, for patients, for other doctors, teaching them, etc., etc. So there are these exemplary human beings, and they're great inspirations to a lot of youngsters and to a lot of us, in fact. However, my suggestion would be that youngsters think that just because a certain person has achieved those heights following a certain career trajectory, that everyone could do the same. That's not a reality. In fact, I think that's a very dangerous and harmful thinking, because everyone's calling is different. Everyone's inspirations and motivations are different. And since I'm one of those people who's very okay to allow mistakes, especially when it comes to careers, etc., I would say that go ahead, make your mistakes. Get it all. If there's something that's calling you right now, get onto it. If it doesn't work for you after some point of time, change your field or do other things also, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. So this, I believe, is a very strong catch-22 situation. Once I realized more things about myself, I started trying to understand a lot more about fluid brains. And one of the most strongest examples in the 1400s actually is Leonardo da Vinci, who was a painter, a musician, a draftsman, an engineer, an anatomist, a sculptor, an architect. So I mean, I kind of realized, okay, so there are more people who want to do more things, and so from his own from where he came from, he did a lot of work. And in recent years, we've seen similar people in say our C.V. Raman, the famous Indian scientist, even Steve Jobs, for that matter, the evolutionary biologist Charles Darwin, etc. So yeah, so there are fluid brains who do multiple things, and I basically just needed to tell myself that, okay, that this is a possibility. And when I kind of changed the tracks of my life, it isn't obviously easy. So I faced a lot of fears, and I also faced quite a bit of criticism. People said, why, what's happening with you? Like, and I knew I was fearful of, let's say, how I'm appearing to the world. I was fearful of making mistakes. Some of the mistakes could get so, they would be precious mistakes, because I was handling two very sensitive subjects. One is food business, and the other is a medical profession. So could they go to hand in hand with each other? And and what if I stop to get inspired? What if it's a temporary thing? What if today I enjoy this, maybe tomorrow I don't enjoy this? I mean, I was just so unsure of so many things. But anyways, I just continued to keep reimagining myself, and I just continued to do the work within myself. And I'm quite happy to say that I enjoy the place that I've reached just now. There's this book by the Indian author called Ashish Jaiswal, and the book's name is Fluid. And that book was released, maybe it was published maybe 5 years ago, and I read it recently. And that helped concretize many thoughts, and it actually provided me with a sense of relief and belonging. Belonging in not fitting in, kind of a thing. So so that was like one thing that helped. Anyways, I'm going to take you on a little tour of what my world looks like. This is like pretty much a daily thing. There's some painting which happens almost daily. There's a lot of food which I kind of see as art. Painting, food, spaces. I design spaces for my personal use, and sometimes for others. I've kind of designed my restaurant and cafe, the spaces over there. When I'm designing a place, I get so involved with it that I practically paint the walls myself, and I'm fighting with the designers that, okay, it has to be done this way or that way, and that kind of thing. With the help of a friend, we created a journal called The Flame Within, and it took inspiration from some real life, local, very empowered women. And we've released this journal, and so we sell it, and we use the proceeds to help empowering other women. Food, of course, as I said, is a constant in my life, or selling food actually. I design jewelry, so that's a constant that's going on, and of course painting again. Some more jewelry. I enjoy meeting up with empowered women, and it's very uplifting to spend time with women, and understand where different people come from, different perspectives, how they've enriched their lives, how they've helped each other, how they've held hands with each other, and so on and so forth. Some awards, some more recent paintings, and a small video clip of me spending a Sunday morning painting these pots, and while which is so relaxing, and it's just so much fun. And I don't know if you can see that little pot collection on one side. All of them have been painted. Yeah, they've been painted by me. And for some reason, I mean, often I wonder if I'm an anomaly of some sort, because I literally wake up every morning with this feeling that my best is yet to come. It's like each day is going to take me to a new journey. So and it's not as if I'm restless. Of course, I work very hard, because my average day could look like an OPD, a surgery, some accounts work, then spending time in the restaurant, and obviously running a restaurant has a lot of the kitchen, the standards, the consistency of the food, etc., etc. But I actually make sure that I involve some bit of creativity, whether it's about designing garments or designing, in fact, this year it's a rule for me to be painting 365 days a year, even if I just paint one petal, so I paint every day. This year, I've actually decided to research on and co-author a book with a literary friend of mine. And we've decided that this book is going to be the same person, the same friend of mine with whom I wrote the journal. And we decided that it's going to be about the India-Pakistan partition, because we've both been affected by it, as in our parents have been affected by it. I intend to go on a watercolors retreat for about 15 days and plan for a watercolor painting exhibition. And with my designer friends, we are working on eco-friendly resort wear and jewelry. And currently, I'm also in the process of curating a vegan menu for my restaurant, a small curated vegan menu for my restaurant. So, as I said, for some reason, I've just, maybe it was always in me, or maybe over years, since I've removed a lot of my inhibitions, and I've gotten into this journey. So okay, I'm very okay with the stresses that it brings me, but it also gives me a lot of relaxation. So for some reason, I just wake up every morning with a fresh new idea, and sometimes the ideas, it has built up over time, and sometimes the idea is like a fresh new thing that, oh wait, I never thought of this before, but I can easily do this, and of course I can do it, and that kind of a thing. And so I guess I've also reached the point where I've learned to manage time very beautifully. I've learned to understand risks. So I'm understanding that, okay, if I do this, what's at risk? If it's only this risk, I'm very happy to take it, because it's going to give me so much pleasure. If the loss of not doing it is probably a little bit more than the risk that I might take, So those kind of things have helped. And so, well, yeah, that's all that I really wanted to share about myself and some bits of this journey. And I think, because there are such remarkable people over here, I would actually love to spend time chatting with everyone and knowing more about everyone, especially Archana, who just seems to have such a lovely and such a creative career path sorted out for herself too.
Fantastic, Dr. Kamal. You have really come out your imagination. I think the sky is the limit. And you are so multi-talented, and the way you emote yourself, it is absolutely realistic. The person feels that Baba is one of us and would like to get involved in such creative ideas. Fantastic. Over to you, Archana. Fantastic, Kamal. We are absolutely enthralled today.
Very well done,
Thank you.
Kamal.
Thank you.
Very well done. Fantastic. Very inspiring.
Yeah. Truly
I'm
motivating
sure not.
also.
As I said, that I'm speaking to some stalwarts, and I'm like, okay, what am I really doing here? As I said that, I consider myself half an ophthalmologist, because
personally, Kamal, I learned a lot. I'll tell you.
That's
I thought Manish was the best. But I thought I always used to think Manish was the best, but you are better than the best.
So Kamal, I'd like to tell you that some people can't even wear one hat, and you're wearing so many and doing them all so well. There was a little joke that I read where this one guy said, I've expanded my skills. I can now forget what I'm doing while I'm actually doing it. That's the story for most of
it. So you have let your passion follow and become your profession, and every day you're looking at new opportunities and so many things. It's like so many colors and feathers to your hat, and it's really affordable. And today we have so many expert panelists with us to have this discussion further on. I would like to introduce first Dr. Kairobi Lahiri. She is a vitreoretinal surgeon and a pediatric ophthalmologist from Bombay Hospital, and she has so many feathers again to her, that many lectures, talks, guest lectures, orations, 6 book chapters, 3 publications, and her hobbies are gardening, dancing, and ma'am's been a role model. She's been ex-president Bombay Ophthalmic Society. And another expert with us is Dr. Usha Zohri, ma'am. She's a consulting ophthalmic surgeon practicing Johri Eye Center, Mahim, Mumbai. She is also a consultant to many other hospitals, including Hiranandani Hospital. Again, she has many awards and orations, and she's been a talker in all national, international faculty as a faculty judge. She's also been just immediate past president of BOA. Mohan Rajan, Professor Mohan Rajan sir, and he's already very famous for both anterior and posterior segment, and he has got his 2000 presentations, so many live surgeries, and I think he has a world record in that is ophthalmic Premier League, and we know him best for his humor. So we're looking forward to hear something from him. Dr. Nikhil Nashta, our celebrity expert panelist, is the cataract and refractive surgeon again from Mumbai, and he's also been the Mr. C bus, am I right? And Mr. Popular again. And Dr. Sonal Lakdawala Jadhav, she is the celebrity wife, plus she is a retina consultant from Mumbai again, and she's been the medical director of Panorama Eye Clinic in Mumbai, and she's also been an office bearer in BOA. I like please further discussion from there. My first question I want to ask Mohan Rajan sir is that if your wife or any women in your family would be a successful entrepreneur like Dr. Kamal, then what would be your contribution, sir?
First of all, let me thank Jignesh, my very good friend, my colleague, and Shankar Netralya for this wonderful opportunity. Again, it's a homecoming for me to MOS webinars, and I'm looking forward to this 9:30 webinars that are really fantastic. And also, I would like to compliment Kamal. What a wonderful journey, Kamal. Really, I'm not. I probably met you once or twice, but I've not had the the opportunity to mingle with you. But it's seriously amazing. I see when I went through your presentation, when I listened to your presentation, it was very, very inspiring for all of us. Only because you are under a shadow of a giant. Your father-in-law is a giant. Manish Nagpal is a giant. Everybody is giants in your institution. But you have carved a niche for yourself. So despite the fact that all of you are around you are big people, but because the reason why I think probably you have traveled in an untraveled path. So Abdul Kalam always used to say that if you want to achieve glory or attain glory, you go in an untraveled path, and that's what I think you have done. You've been doing for the past so many years, and your determination, commitment, self-belief, introspection, hard work, social consciousness, and time management, taking risks, passion, compassion, empathy. I think you have it all, Kamal. It's really, you are a person, I think you are a role model for all women. So, Kamal, I think because I have also Sujata with me, and Sujata is also like you only, okay? In the sense that she does a lot of other work as well. She's into novel writing, she does painting, she plays the veena, and she's also into, as you know, she got the Nari Shakti Purishkar Award from the President of India a few years back. And she is actually one of the, she inspires me a lot. But people like you and Sujata and all other people like Sonal, Yerobi was my best friend, Usha Jahiri, madam, all the people, even Archana, all the people here, women are all inspiring. So the women empowerment, I think what Archana is asking me is whether Sujata, Sujata does similar stuff, but not to the extent of Kamal. You know, Kamal is gone totally into a different ball game. So she does ophthalmology in the morning, taking care of the restaurants in the evening. It's totally two different poles, I would say. But she does it with equal elan. So that is, I think, something which is very, very, that's mainly because she's got the passion and commitment and she enjoys what she's doing. And she also has a lot of conviction and self-belief from whatever I listen to her. I think this is very important for not only women, but every person in this world. Every person should have the self-belief and the conviction that you can do better and better every day. So I think it's really truly inspiring. My suggestion, Kamal, I think you should write an autobiography of yourself. Yes.
Yes, very
Yes.
much. I also second
Because,
it.
because nobody, we have done, all of us have written textbooks in ophthalmology, everything. Everybody does it. But this is something which I think, which I'm sure, which will be some sort of a path breaking trend, because an ophthalmologist doing all these things, it's almost like a 360-degree coverage. You agree?
I think my real passion or my real interest would be for people to understand that, is to open up, just go with the flow, because for so long we've heard things like, okay, being a doctor is such a great thing, and it truly is, because we are doing so much for the society, and it's not as if this came without. I mean, for example, maybe about 10 years ago, so I practically stopped attending all medical conferences.
Yes.
That just because on Saturday, Sunday, when there are conferences, it's like the busiest time in the restaurant. So in fact, many times I find myself in the restaurant kitchen on a Saturday, Sunday. So basically, I realized when Archana and I were talking this morning, and I realized that while a lot of people want a vertical ascent, upwards, I, for some reason, wanted to spread out. I was like, okay, I don't like becoming a famous person was never my, it never inspired me, so it was never about, okay, I want to become this doctor I love to be a doctor and I love to treat the patients that I have, and in my own limited way, the way I've divided my time. But I am happier having a more spread out perspective of life, where I'm getting to do my art, where I'm getting to understand myself as an entrepreneur, where I'm able to say, when I'm looking at the restaurant staff, they're all uneducated kids, and they're younger boys and girls from villages and stuff like that. So all of those things interest me a lot more than what I don't know. It's just a different perspective of life, I guess. So if even if like a few youngsters listen to this and they understand that, okay, it's not just about becoming a doctor and achieving that sense of greatness, but a greatness can also come from from personal work, from understanding yourself very well, from knowing that you can contribute in the society and in your own family to yourself in many different ways. So I think that's really the message, more than really the specifics of my life. I think that's the message that I would want any youngster that's listening or would be interested in listening to take.
Simply awesome, Kamal.
Kamal,
Awesome.
I just want to
What a
expand
mature
on one
answer
aspect.
from her, Kamal. At
No,
her age, she's really given a good insight. Yeah.
Kamal, I would just like to expand on one aspect. The part of joyousness which you mentioned. See, it is like this. It is not about money. It is about how you do your work and what you achieve, which gives you joy. Like, for instance, for us surgeons, you do a surgery, the surgery goes off well, it gives you innate joy.
Got it.
You have a patient who does well with his eyes, it gives you great joy. It is not something material, but it is something which you can contribute. And for you, you have expanded horizontally, but it is the joy of doing that when you do a painting and you love the colors in it. That's what gives you joy. For me, it is like when I dance, it's like, a pleasure which nothing else can give me. It's like kind of so soul searching. I just uncover myself and, I just go with the flow. So that's what it is. And whatever kind of passions which anybody has, which they pursue or follow, That is what gives you joy, and that is what is the most important thing in life for all of us, you know, more than anything else. Vertical ascent, horizontal ascent, it's not about that. It's just that you have to do things which you like, which you have a passion for, and you have to enjoy yourself while doing it.
Right. Right. True.
Nikhil, what do you have to say to this?
Nikhil, let's have your view.
I think she's really enjoying whatever she does, and it's nice to explore and to figure out. We are not unilateral. Okay, but we are a doctor, and that's not 100% of what we are. We think a lot, and in the medical profession, we have such high IQs. We've read so much. We've been inspired by so many things.
And we are very hardworking.
Very hardworking, and
Yeah.
I also feel that whatever you do, you're going to give it your best shot, which you are.
Mhm.
So there's a lot more to offer, and you're doing all of
So you
that.
know what? There's this other catch-22 situation that as we are growing as doctors, say for example, because we've all done medicine and we've done our masters and DOs and everything. So there's hardly any time to really do anything else. So for example, just the lockdown made me realize that I have so much more to myself.
Yeah.
And as the kids grow up, of course, that's common to a lot of women. They realize more things about themselves as the kids are grown up, and they find this sense of independence. But I think as one goes on to the path of becoming a superlative doctor, and which these things start getting eliminated from one's life, which may be desirable. Like for some people,
Fully agree with you. Yeah.
that journey is probably very joyous, but for some others it might even be a loss, that because at the end of that journey you might be limited to a very small, say a very small circle of friends which may or may not be there, a very small circle of activities which you may or may not be able to do, or something like that. So I feel that that's one thing that we need to factor in as we are growing older and as we are moving ahead in life, especially because we are probably at a stage where we have a choice, and we are able to we are able to use that choice in that sense. So
Sonal
Kushi,
has
Yeah,
got a
very well
you
said.
celebrity. Sorry.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Very
Kushal, you
well
wanted to
said.
add something?
Yeah, I would like to, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Jignesh and all the panelists, who have called me for this meeting. And a special, thanks to Dr. Kamal, who has given such a wonderful talk. Okay. And she is proved that, that jack of all are not the masters of all. She's proved that jack of all are masters of all. And I'm very, very happy that, a wife of such a famous person, a daughter-in-law of such a famous person could do so many things, which is really very inspiring for me, because I'm also a wife of a special person, a very famous person. And I have changed, my attitude with time. There were days when I was focusing on my children. There were days when I was taking a back step because I wanted my husband to grow. And was it a mistake or was it not a mistake? I'm still really confused about it. So
Mhm.
the contribution of men in women's upgrowth, I really don't know what is the scenario in our country. But as educated and a very, being a gold medalist from Bangalore University, I really sometimes wonder whether I used my time in a fruitful way or I did not use it in a fruitful way. But I can proudly tell that my daughter, who is also a pediatric orthopedic surgeon, my son, who is an engineer from Georgia Tech, running a huge college in interior of Maharashtra, I can really tell very proudly that what I have done in my life, I have nothing to regret, because I see that both of them have done so well in life, and I'm really proud of them. So I think as you walk in your life, you change with time. And today I have all the free time in the world, whether I do academics or whether I do, something out of the box. Nobody really, interferes, or there is no such resistance for me. So I personally feel that women has to change with time. She has to be a multitasking, and the nature and the circumstances teach her how to become a multitasking person, isn't it? Maybe it's ironing, maybe it's washing the clothes or washing the utensils, because not everybody is, born rich, or not everybody is, blessed with a lot of money and lot of background and lot of, good finances and help. So I think as doctors, we struggle very much, to be on the top. And I'm sure there are many lady ophthalmologists in our country, more than men, and this kind of a program, I think, would be extremely encouraging. And really, thank you, Kamal, for, being an eye opener. And I think I will also try and pursue my talent, maybe sports or something like that, yoga, sports, and, things like that. And your talk has been extremely inspiring. I would like to hear more and more of you. Thank you very much.
कमल
Okay,
कमल ने बहुत लोगों की
Usha.
आत्मा जगा दी है आज. I would like to have
Usha.
Sonal's view. She is a celebrity wife and herself a big celebrity. She has gone through a lot of tumultuous time now. Your view, Sonal?
uh, it's inspiring to hear you, Kamal, and I have seen this journey up close.
You have seen,
And
you have been a part of.
yeah, I've been a part of this and I've seen it up close. I have actually seen every bit of it. I mean, I'm talking from 1998 to where we stand today. But way back, I think about 10 years before, I was invited at Narayan Netralaya for on the 8th of March, which is Women's Day, to give a talk. And I remember this one slide which I had put up where I said that, for women, there is a word where we choose between something called as selflessness and selfishness. So there was selflessness that was there in the initial part of our lives where we were mothers, probably dedicating ourselves and taking a backseat on our passion, on our life, on our careers, on everything. And then in, I think, time when we kind of rose up and our children grew up, I think we then came into the balance of being selfish, not selfish, but I think self acquaintance, what Kamal rightly put it as, self love towards ourselves, our passion, everything, I think, then could come out. And at one point, we could kind of horizontally expand ourselves, not just in our careers but so many other hobbies that we've also had. So I think as women, you have a multifactorial look to a lot of these things. You look at life in different sections. But I'm so proud that today our kids, I think there was a time when we had either medicine, engineering, lawyer, architecture, and that's it. But when I look back today, 20, 25, 30 years back, had I got the opportunity to look at media, marketing, digital marketing, public relations, fashion, probably I would have not become a doctor because I had no exposure. But I'm so proud today that my daughter is exposed to so many of these things. And the children today have such a large choice in their careers, which is so beautiful. I think we're not just stuck to one particular thing. And at one point, being a celebrity wife, I have seen the film industry so up close. And we normally in a bigger profession try to put off that industry. I mean, it's so naturally done. Okay. But today when my daughter is on the path to be into mainstream Bollywood acting, I think I'm going to be like, I'm sitting at the edge of a seat, scared as a mother, I'm sure, but at the same time so happy that yes, she's choosing something that she likes and she's moving ahead in that field. And though it's going to be an unstable field, but I probably feel at least that I'm happy that she's choosing something that she's loving to do. So I think at one point, it's exactly what you need to choose. I think Kamal just did that. She was phenomenal in her subject, but some creative streak of Kamal, somewhere something was not hitting the right chord. And I think that came in with Soul Square, and that came in with painting, and that came in with everything as time went by. I'm sure the tremendous support that she had with her family, okay, and the kids and Manish and I think sir and ma'am also. But it's inspiring to see you, Kamal, and I love the journey, and keep rising and keep doing so much more. And I love the last slide that there's yet a lot more good to come, and just keep it up. It just feels so happy.
Yeah.
Sonal, you have another facet to yourself. You forgot about that. You choreograph your husband.
वो जब को कोरियोग्राफी कराते हैं, she choreographs her husband.
But that's what, no, he makes the world dance, I make him dance.
You make him.
नहीं,
And
Sonal,
very
I
well
would
said,
Uh,
Dr.
with
Sonal. So, Dr.
Sujata, I
Kamal,
face the music.
yeah, as you said
Yeah.
that art while drawing and painting, you found it very relaxing. And during the COVID time, we've seen that, some people went into cooking, baking, and is food, some making food or baking something to, is it a stress buster is it like, when you had so many challenges in life, that, painting and making food or something, did it, mentally also had some effect on you,
Relaxing feeling.
like a
Right.
calming or
So,
something? Tell us your
uh,
challenges about, and how was it like?
yeah. So basically, when you've been through medicine and those 5.5, 6 years of medicine, then 3 years of that sheer working with your brains and just remembering, and trying to make sense of things and stuff like that. So we've already developed so much of that part of ourselves. After that, I've realized, and of course, when kids are younger and you are also budding in your profession and everything, you're trying to learn, understand which field you're getting into and stuff like that, there isn't that much space. But in the last few years, I've realized that doing anything with your hands, so I've done pottery, which I would love to do more, but if time is there, so it's like a little bit on the back. Yeah. But painting, which is also done by hands, baking for that matter. I don't cook too much, but baking for sure. And as I said, that even for me, sometimes when I'm in my restaurant and if it's really full or something, I even love to clean the tables, so just doing things with my hands, I think is a stress buster. It could really be anything. So if I'm experimenting on a new recipe, if it's a new cake that I'm coming up with, and then I do a lot of trials and errors and stuff like that. That time it is a little stressful, so because you are trying to analyze and create that perfect recipe which will work for you over and over again in a professional setting. But after having mastered it for a few times and then taught to another person, because then I hand over the recipe to the people who will actually be making it. Basically, that's when relaxation starts. Then you it becomes automatic. Like, okay, so one part that I would like to say, because there's been so much talk about multitasking, and also women are basically multitaskers. I think again that's something that we've learned
By
over
default.
the course of our lives and
Fully,
everything like
fully
that.
agree. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's by
So
default.
switching off one thing and switching on the other thing, so imagine waking up one morning knowing that okay, there might be a staff crisis at the restaurant, but knowing that okay, your first full attention has to go into the surgery, then you just sit back for 5 minutes and you are like, okay, I mentally revise the steps of the surgery, because I only operate once or twice a week. I don't operate daily. I have my OPD only twice a week. So whatever surgeries come out of it, and anyway, since I'm doing glaucoma and strabismus, these are not surgically heavy fields also, so it gives me that sense of comfort that I operate when I need to. So when I sit down for my surgery, I actually have to step back and shut off everything else, and then think, okay, now I'm going to cut the conjunctival. I go through the steps literally like reading a textbook, because obviously it's something that you can't mess up with. And then when after I'm done with that and everything, then I'm going to save my restaurant. I really have to switch that off, because you're so involved in the well-being of the patient, and now you're going to go looking into the kitchen and understanding the dynamics that are working over there and stuff like that. So switching on, switching off is something that I've learned over the course of this journey, that putting things on the front bench and putting things on the back burner, ki ठीक है, आज मैं सिर्फ ये दो चीजों को attention दूंगी. I'll not be looking at those things, but tomorrow maybe I'll focus on those things.
It's
Those,
like
that kind of a
माइटोमाइसिन
juggling.
तो है ओटी में, मगर कांदा और
हाँ,
कोरिएंडर
वो
आया कि नहीं आया,
वो भी देख रहा है.
balancing both the
exactly.
Yeah, they
You
say
know,
if the husband is not
Listener, the
capable,
traits of an actor.
become-
What you said, na, switching on as a camera switch on hua, so you are on totally focused
You're
into one
different.
thing.
Yeah.
Camera
yes,
off
sir,
and you are back to your routine. So that's
हाँ,
the trait of a real good actor. You see, Amitabh Bachchan, I'll just relate a story. One of my good friends, he's owning the Oxford Golf Club here and the Flame University. He's my classmate. He had called Amitabh Bachchan. And he was just sitting there. I'll take 30 seconds before we go, because it's a very educative part. He said, "Bhai, Amitabh ko baitha hai. He looks so groggy and absolutely was just sitting right in front of me." And I was telling him the story, what you're supposed to talk to the Flame University. They were the incoming batch, the what we say, the first batch
Freshers
were
back.
walking to the Flame University, and he wanted Amitabh to address. So this fellow, he said, I was talking, but he was just keeping his head down. And I thought this guy is not going to say what exactly I want to convey. And next day morning, when he stood up and started speaking, what Kamal said, absolutely so focused, and 1.5 hours without referring to any notes, he was absolutely what we say, he got a standing applause, a standing ovation for his talk. So that such is that actor exactly Kamal just related. So that incident came to my mind and I said I should share this. Exactly, Kamal, you are that way only. Conjunctiva और ये एक बार हो गया कि इधर फिर तुम्हारा coriander और टमाटर. That is how it is. It's wonderful.
Nikhil, you wanted to
You're
say
another
something?
Amitabh.
Yeah. Kamal, I wanted
Anyway.
to ask you,
Yeah.
your paintings are very, very nice, but they're all flowers. So is there a reason why you paint only flowers?
I think florals really uplift me, really uplift me, So, I mean, I've tried doing other things also. And also, I'm not like an expert painter or anything. I love to call myself a painter, but it's a journey which
Can I offer you a bouquet voucher?
I would love that very much. Yes, absolutely. I would love
How
for you
sweet,
to
yeah.
fly over and
Nikhil is own way. Yeah.
Nikhil, this is too bad. Yeah, you have to give one rose to everybody.
In this seminar, I'm learning one thing. जो mom and a mom, actually MOM is master of multitasking. तो वो हम लोग नहीं हो सकते सर. वो इन लोगों को दे
that's
देना
not an
पड़ेगा.
excuse. I'm sorry. That's
That
really
is
not
the
an
default
excuse.
setting in women. This multitasking is a default, and we coach. Abhi, I am now at home. I am a single parent. How I take care? I always living with my child, and a lady would have aram se done everything and managed the clinic. So I understand how much you people by default are multitasking.
That's really true. The only
I
one
honestly think that that's an excuse. It's like, oh, हाँ, आप लोग तो multitask करो, आप सब कर लो. और
I
हम
agree.
तो-
I agree.
Actually, it's an
Very true,
excuse.
very
I
true.
don't know.
It's
I
nicely
think
put the
it's an
blanket on us.
excuse.
You
Yes,
guys can do it.
yes. You multitask, yes. We'll only give roses. Fine.
Yeah. Nikhil, one rose for everybody, यार.
हाँ, अकेले खाली कमल को ही दे रहा है यार, वो गलत बात है.
मैडम अकेले भी बुके है, मैं देता हूँ.
I told you in the beginning, beautiful faces.
आप ये ले लो, आप ये ले लो, ये वाले ले लो.
Oh my God!
Thank
How
you.
come you have so many flowers today?
So, Nikhil,
Birthday something.
happy
Yes,
belated
it was his
birthday
birthday.
wishes to you.
Yeah.
Archana, let's take it forward.
Birthday, is it, Nikhil?
Sorry,
Yes,
my
sir.
birthday was yesterday. Yes.
Yesterday,
Happy
happy
belated.
Happy
returns.
birthday, Nikhil.
Thank you.
Celebrating a women empowerment webinar today, and you are there very much.
If we could quickly hear more about Archana, because Archana also has such an interesting life, and we were talking this morning, and I would love to hear more about. She said she's fascinated with ramp walks and that
Kamal, that's why I had a star moderator to introduce you. You understand that?
Yes.
पकड़ा है उसको.
but
हमारा
yeah, but
बड़ा committee है,
Amul.
उसने अर्चना को बोला, I want you
Nikhil
to do the
also
moderation.
belongs to the same category. Because he's
Yes.
also.
So me and Nikhil share a passion together of
okay.
a bit of glamorous world.
Lovely.
Actually, I think since my MBBS days, I used to do a lot of. So I'm from Rajiv Gandhi Medical College, Kalwa, and the first fashion show was organized by me in my second MBBS there. Right from getting the funds to, we actually went on the roads and on those boutiques and shops to get funds, and we arranged a mega scale from my angle. A mega scale in those days, a fashion show which was a very big hit, from choreographing to all the sequences. So, and then we repeatedly did it for another 2 years. So it was there, in that glamorous part was there somewhere. And then took over was the medicine, doing PG, getting married, raising children, and all the jazz. Somewhere, yeah, as Dr. Kamal also said, and Sonal also said the same thing, that after so many years, when we feel that the children have grown up and now they are good on their own, and we just need to monitor them from a distance also is good enough. I said, okay, chalo. And COVID also opened that route of following your dreams. And
I think so, yes.
I also realized one thing, that even baking also did a lot of, making me a little stress-free. And I enjoyed 2 to 3 hours of just being in the kitchen and just baking something and hearing music. So, and after all this, I thought, chalo, let's do some auditions, and some friends also suggested. So that journey just began from there, and I have had a wonderful experience. And one thing that was a bit difficult is that medicine has a tag to it. Like, we have that tag of a respected profession, and so, XYZ. And this industry it takes a bit of your your internally you need to open your mental, any mental blocks are there, so that initially all of my family members have actually been motivating, but there were places when I said, why am I doing this? Is it required now? But then I am so glad I did. And I did some ramp shows. I have walked some runways, and I'm also now going to be doing some shoots and stuff. Things are coming up for me, so I'm hoping for the best, and I'm able to balance it very well. My surgeries, my OPDs, and I think ophthal is one. We are lucky to be ophthalmologists. So I think also want to thank my field that ophthal is one field where if you want to balance, it's quite possible. It's
Yes.
we
No
can.
emergency.
Yes, yes.
Archana, why don't you give me a job? I'll come over there.
Yes, even I wanted a one. I was just going to tell you,
I'm
you
jobless
so
here.
nicely. A little bit about men empowerment from Nikhil now.
Yes, a little bit of men empowerment.
Archana, one question for you. While you were baking, did you bake your husband?
I was just, she'll make you now.
My husband, he doesn't enter the kitchen, ma'am.
He's scared.
डर के मारे.
But I'm really happy that he doesn't enter the kitchen. Because then it's your zone. Means then जो पकेगा वो खाना है, जो है वो है.
बस, बस.
And
No complaints.
recently, Nikhil has also been on the billboards for Bajaj Alliance and all that. And he's doing a lot of shoots and a lot of ads and all. So, can you tell us something about
निखिल
yourself?
बताओ यार, men empowerment भी है.
Men
अरे,
empowerment.
थोड़ा
भी है.
men empowerment भी है. So basically during COVID, we had a lot of time on our hands, and I made a few videos educating the people about coronavirus and cross contamination. They went viral, and then there was this online event that I took part in. It just kicked off, and the ball started rolling. And ho gaya. I won a pageant. I was on the billboards. It was covered in the Bombay Times and everything. Then I did a movie role after that. I did a couple of ads. I did one very big ad for Bajaj, which was a pan India, and it came in the newspapers for a whole month. Big billboards all the way to the airport and back. And I was very happy. It's not every day you stand in front of a larger than life picture of yourself, and my kids are dancing. And I remember when the board was put up, we went to Bandra to see it, and my mom and my dad and my kids are there, and हम लोग गाड़ी से उतरे, and we are all standing there and admiring it, and all these beggar children, they're coming there and they are like poking, कौन है आप हो क्या? It was and when they realized it, they don't even know, they're so innocent. बस crowd कर लिया, sir है picture में आ रहे हैं. It was like a mob, and mommy's like चल गाड़ी में बैठ जा. They are like crowding here. So that was, we don't get to see that in our ophthalmology ना. तो अच्छा था, it was a nice feeling. I did a couple of movie shoots also. So the advantage of being a doctor there is they give you such a big printout, and they expect you to say the lines. So we are one take star. एक take में हम लोग का हो जाता है.
हो जाता है, हाँ.
So I remember this movie that I've done. I'm playing a celebrity judge, something like a Remo, and I have to sit there, and there are ladies walking the ramp. And my first reaction was, I'm just standing there and like mesmerized, like wow, so much glamour. The DOP, Sonal, he's shouting from there. Guy in the black tuxedo, close your mouth, stop drooling. So that was very funny. Then somebody told him, अरे वो सर्जन है, आप क्या बोल रहे हो? Then he's like, sir, यहाँ पे ना आपने मास्क नहीं पहना है, सब दिख रहा है. अच्छा था, it was a nice experience.
I have such a
हम
funny
किसी से कम नहीं, ऐसा है. That is
Yes,
what
Sonal,
Nikhil
what
means.
is-
है ना, Nikhil?
I have such a funny incident on this to share. This is way back when I started Panorama, and I had this patient, and I treated him for his BRVO, and treated him for the CME, well lasered and everything. After about like 3 months, he comes back, got good vision. The disease is settling very well. And then about 6 months later, back on a follow up, he comes in again, asks, and that day asks me, "So is your husband also a doctor?" And he was a Maharashtrian patient. So I said, "No, sir, I'm Umesh Jadhav's wife." oh yeah. And then he comes and he shakes hands with me and he's like, oh my God, you're Umesh Jadav's wife. I said, there's no appreciation for me treating him like this good for 6 months. No. I've just become glamorous by just letting him know that I'm Umesh
Oh
Jadav's wife.
God.
So the time when I realized, I said, oh my God, this industry is so different. I mean, I think we're all behind the scenes and these guys are so much, and I mean, they're on the screen. Nikhil, I've experienced this mob thing like so many times, with Umesh in malls and everywhere, when his posters are all on the near the airport roads and all that. It's a different feeling. I understand. So I sometimes, I always when I come on the television with him, and now a patient comes to the clinic says, "Oh, I saw you on television with your husband." I mean, it's a different feeling, but our profession has a different, aspect to it. But I think, still we are all as glamorous as them in our own ways. Absolutely.
Sonal, I have a different perspective of this.
Yeah.
I mean, that person would revere you because you've treated him so well and he's fine. But then that day he got a chance to hold your hand. It was not about Umesh Jadhav, it was about your hand.
And I still can't get over that facial expression. I can still remember and I know his name so well, and it's just unbelievable. It was a different experience.
I want to ask Dr.
Yes.
Kamal one more question, ma'am. I want to ask you, out of all the things that you do, what is it that is your favorite thing to do?
I think, and I'm only going to say right now because, as I said, that I seem to be a new person every day. But for the moment, I think painting is really my go-to passion. It's just, it's like, so my daughter was leaving for Spain, and so there was some stress. Basically, she was going for her master's just 10 days ago, and this year I've decided to paint every day, but I was having a painter's block. Basically, I've just become, just been so busy with so many things and all. So I wasn't really able to create anything. I would just sit and maybe make one petal and leave it or something like that. And a couple of days before my daughter was going, I was really quite overwhelmed with her travel, and I mean, I was a little overwhelmed. And quickly, 3 or 4 paintings quickly came out, and these were the latest paintings that I shared on the screen just now. So I mean, I was amazed to see the quality that had come. So basically, it was my stress that was making me paint, and I actually felt such a relief after I finished painting and stuff like that. So I think currently my go-to is painting for sure. And if there was more time, I would love to paint more, but things are as they are. So
Kamal, why is it only watercolor? Any reason?
yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to shift to acrylics, but I haven't had time. But watercolors have such a lovely flow to them, and that the
Yes.
delicacy that the way they spread, and the delicacy that they impart to your painting, and the kind of translucency or transparency that they have. I think it just bowls me over completely. I mean, I just love watercolors. Every morning, literally, I follow probably 100 or maybe 500 artists. So every morning I wake up in the morning, and like literally the first thing I'm doing is looking at watercolors, and that kind of gets me going for the day. So,
Is it instinctive or you plan it out? कि भाई ये करना है आज.
so watercolors on the whole is an instinctive. It's not a instinctive. I mean, it's instinctive to one sense, but for watercolors you need a lot of planning because between layers, you need watercolors to dry off and then add layers to it and stuff like that. So watercolors take skill, and they take patience, and they take planning or something like that. But having said that, I think that basic instinct has to be there, that the way of looking at a thing. And then because many times now, if like I'm looking at the scene behind you, that the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, I think is there. So your mind starts to think that if you had to paint this, then you would put that golden layer first, and then you would put the blue layer next. So it's that little bit of planning, but yeah, it's also instinctive.
One question I had for Mohan. Mohan,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
know that your wife writes beautiful poetry. Has she ever written a poem on you?
She's writing.
That's
She's
secret,
trying to
top
write.
secret there. How can you reveal it?
She's trying to write.
She's going to
That'll
write
be
it.
the worst
Is
thing.
it so difficult?
That'll
Once
be the
you
worst
become
thing
the
to
vice
do.
president, she is reserved that for that.
No problem.
And
No, I just want to say something. I think every one of us has got this talent in them. Okay, if you start exploring, you will have the talent, hidden talent within yourself to do something like what Kamal is doing. But the problem is, we are all ophthalmologists. We want to excel in our profession. We want to become better cataract surgeons, or VR surgeons, or glaucoma surgeons, or whatever it is. We are a little more hyper focused, and we are going in one path. And what Kamal has probably, Kamal and people like Nikhil and Archana and other people here as well, as taught us now today, is that we should go out of the comfort zone. We are all in a comfort zone. We are doing whatever is thing, but we may be better tomorrow, but we do not know. It's like a rat race, because you are going you are competing with so many other millions of ophthalmologists in the same field. But this comfort zone is what is actually preventing you from going and experimenting something like what Kamal is doing. So if you want to do something differently, you need to go out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is what you're doing every day. Go out of your comfort zone and experiment and try to take risks. And what she has done, like opening a restaurant or something like that, I'm sure everybody can do, but you need to go out of that you need to have that conviction and probably overcome that mental block that you can do better something like this. So I think it's really a very, very, it's a really, as Usha Madam rightly said, it's a eye opener for all of us. And Kamal, really hats off to you. Yeah. That's what, no, because whenever I see you, I'm reminded, because Sujata does, Kerobi knows about Sujata. And she's incidentally, my only wife. And
and you are the source of.
I have one wife and two daughters. Yeah. So, but Sujata has her priorities in place. Yeah, which I'm not able to do. To be frank, I'm not able to do. But priorities. She will Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she will operate. Tuesday, Thursday, so she'll see patients. 4 o'clock onwards, she will do yoga. She will do writing poems, writing novels, and doing something else totally different. The work-life balance is there, but I'm not able to do that. The mistake is on me, okay? But because I'm seeing that every day, like what you are doing, Kamal, and it's really seriously amazing. I think only women can do this.
Yes, by default.
I think it's very difficult. I'm telling why, because men are basically more ambitious. Basically, so women are contented with whatever they have. Generally, I'm telling you, there are exceptions to the rule. Men are more ambitious. This ambition actually kills you, because when you become more ambitious, there is no limit. Tomorrow you want to become better than today. The day after tomorrow you want to become better than tomorrow. So there's no limit to this. Because
you are then only narrow-minded, only focusing
narrow
on
this thing. You want to be, see, I want to do this, I want to get this, I want to do this. So ambitious. Whereas women are not so ambitious. Kamal is not very ambitious. That's why she's able to break off or switch off
creative way
from glaucoma and strabismus surgery and to the restaurants immediately, because she knows what she knows the limitations, what she can do here. She knows the limitations, what we can do here. Whereas men like us, we go beyond the limitations. We are very over ambitious to the extent that it spoils your happiness. Seriously, I'm telling. That's what is. Yes. This is
I like your work-life balance.
Nobody will accept it. But I am accepting it openly because I want votes from all of you guys.
I accepted it right away.
To answer,
I personally feel that men expect a lot from women, from their wife especially, isn't it? So whereas a wife does not expect, too much from their husbands. That's the reason why the men are more dependent on their wives or on the women, and their because their expectations from the wife is definitely more. And the other way, it's not true. The women does not expect anything from men. That's
Usha
it.
madam, that is because you people are more talented, more multitasking. That is
Yeah,
why
yeah.
people say,
You,
"अरे भाई,
you
इनको
can.
तो सब आता है,
Yes, yes,
हमको तो
yes.
खाली यही आता है."
Jignesh,
That is how.
but as a part of this woman empowerment thing, there is one
Yeah.
thing which I want to emphasize, and it's partly to answer Usha's question, is that she
Yes.
feels what she has done all these years, backing her family, backing her husband, was it like, the right thing to do, or she should have focused more? I think it is all about what your priorities are and also what gives you joy. If you feel joy in backing your husband to see that he grows higher, it is enough. If you
Yes.
want to see your children become better and you invest in it, it is enough because it gives you joy. And always in life, the stress factor goes away when
When
you are
there's
doing
joy.
something which you really enjoy. And
Yeah.
another dictum is that if at any point of time any woman feels she's pressurized to do something which she doesn't want to do, that is the time she has to break free from that and do what she feels
He
she
wants.
wants to do.
Yes.
Good.
What she is
That,
passionate to do. Correct.
that is where she's empowering herself, her own mind, to do her own cause, to do whatever she would like to do. And that is what is a dictum for every woman on this panel, or
Yeah.
True.
even people who are hearing us.
I think
Yeah, they
That's
should
a
have
big
that
bottom,
go home message you
introspection.
have given, Karobi.
the
Very
bottom line
good
is,
go home message for
change
everybody.
change yourself with the situation. Be little flexible, more flexible, and do whatever you are doing it. Do happily. That's what I think is the
Yeah.
take home
Yeah.
message.
And
Take
as
home
as
message.
sir
Change
said,
the situation.
work-life balance is the
Yes,
way to do it. So
that's
Absolutely.
I
your
think
family,
that's
your
And
work,
definitely the
and what
work-life
gives you
balance is
joy.
more with women, Archana.
Yes.
My,
Yes.
my personal feeling, work-life balance is definitely more with women than men.
I agree. I
No,
agree.
At
sir,
this
Yes.
juncture,
I
I would
don't
like
agree
to
on this.
ask Sonal because she's been through a rough patch recently. So now I want her to give her insight on what she feels life should be.
My God,
Yes, Sonal.
it's been a crazy ride, I think, 2021, and very unexpected, I am sure. But I think, life puts you at such places which probably, then that is a time when you actually realize your inner strength. You just, it just comes out. You learn that there are two sides of the balance. Either you can be strong and positive, or you succumb to it. And, this journey has, in this last year, taught me a lot of things. And the first thing that it has taught me is to learn to say no, and which is what is so important in everyone's life, because we never say no. And that is a time when it decides, and you stop giving priority to yourselves. So that the moment you learn to say no for certain things, and you prioritize your own self, I think probably that's most important. So that's where you kind of then can derive your happiness and everything through. It's made me go through a lot of personal changes, equations in life. It has made me realize that, I think there's no point in running after so many things that we want. Mohan sir, as you rightly said, over ambition, it just kills yourself, because you just realize that life is so short. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
this may not be there
Absolutely.
tomorrow. So today, when I look back, sir, and I became a housewife for 4 years, I gave up ophthalmology completely to raise my child. And such a big profession as a retina surgery. So when you come back after 4 years and you start doing your first retina surgery, and it's like pathetic, because you've just lost touch with surgery for 4 years. But when you look back at your child now, you don't regret single bit of it, because you feel that those years of your childhood have never come back. Your career has come back to you completely.
Time well given
Yeah, so you at so
and well
many
spent.
things in life, you when you look back today, this one year has been an eye opener. It's taught me the importance of family, friends, people, love. the kind of blessings that are coming across, every single person. It's beautiful. People earn money, but when you earn people, I think that's most important. So there are many
Fantastic.
people who earn money, but there are very few who earn people. And I'm just so blessed to have such amazing friends in my life. I think Dr. Karobi, Manish, Kamal have been like standing so strong beside me that I am just so blessed to have everybody in life. But yes, it's been an eye opener. It's been a life where I now want to live life with my family and my friends. I want to enjoy every day. So if one day I'm not doing something now, I feel that the day is lost, and I don't want to lose that one day because it's so precious. Because you just realize that, you've taken so many things for granted in life. And,
Granted.
you've just like, sometimes you've just wild it off, and, you have the talent, you have the,
Resources
everything
also.
going for it, and you've not been able to utilize it. So now each day you want to give it to your best for your patients. So I mean, I work now. I've started working lesser. i've I wind the clinic up at 5 o'clock so that I have time for myself in the evening. And I spend that with Ayushi. I'm doing so much for my own self. I want to go back to a big passion that I had, was to give my voiceover. And that was in 2020. I was actually training in the house in COVID time to speak different in different voices. But I think in 21 God had something different this time for me. I think now I'm back, and maybe once this year slightly goes and gives me the strength and gives me the confidence that I'm all right, I want to go back and do that. Because I think it's so beautiful to have your voiceover for so many things. I've been slightly training for it. I want to pick up the passion once again. I used to dance, but I left dancing after my father's expiry. But I'm just happy seeing Ayushi training classical Kathak now. So I think sometimes I do dance with the two of them, because I have these two great dancers in the house. So they keep on motivating me. But it's been a very tough time, and I think I'm just blessed to have a lot of people who have been with me in this journey: my parents, my family, and my friends, and my patients, for everybody who has come to know. And it's my doctors who have taken care of me, and so many things. But life is short, and just live it happily, and just say thank you for everything. Because just say thank you that you're alive this morning and you're breathing. That's most important.
One word I have to
It's the
say
most
for Sonal,
important to prioritize your health.
Yeah.
I want to
one
tell
Yeah.
That's the
Sonal
word I have
one
to say
thing.
first
for
important
Sonal is
aspect.
that she has been very, very strong throughout this entire problem of hers. And the thing is that, of course, we used to call her up and all, but in the face of this kind of a thing, to remain positive, though we used to tell her that, is very tough. And
I
she
know.
has managed it, and it's only because of her positivity. Today, she is all right and she's well.
Ma'am, I want to tell Sonal one thing. Sonal, I was just watching the CD of our BOA Focus 2017 the other day. You and Umesh are dancing. There are these people with umbrellas, and you all are doing that
Yes.
Tumko Malum Hai, Ishq
Yeah,
Masoom Hai and all. You have to dance. I
yeah.
mean, you can't not dance. You're made for it. I was like watching a movie show, Broadway kind of thing. Please pursue that, yeah. We have to see it.
Yeah.
Yes, but now the good part is, Nikhil, she has
Ah,
come out stronger and more smiling. Of course,
she
let's give
is.
her time. I think she definitely should do it. See, I
She
have
will.
seen her, watched her. She always has a, what we say, a cherished smile always. Whenever we go
She's
and meet
very
her,
strong.
came to, sir, how are you? Very warm welcome. And I'm seeing her smiling in spite of all these problems and fully charged. It's a great thing altogether. And
Yes,
that is also within a year.
it's taken a lot of strength to be on the podium today. And I've really been on the first one after this entire disease process. You
Thank
lose your
you.
identity because somehow you've always been conscious about your looks. And, this is one thing which takes away, your look and everything, and for a matter of, for a moment, it does shatter you when you look at yourself in the mirror for a little while, till you really come out of the entire thing. But yeah, I think, when you have people and friends who come and tell you that, the inner self is beautiful, we are not worried about the outer looks. Okay. And
Very
that
good.
just puts more positivity in you, and just tells you, just come out and shine. The world is looking at you, and there's a stage for you to keep the show going on.
Absolutely.
So
Sonal,
what did I tell you first,
Very
Sonal?
well
I
said.
said
Sonal,
this
you,
what
Life-changing
suits you.
experience.
Sonal, you already hit
Yeah,
the
and you're
nail on
looking
the
really beautiful today.
I know, with the different hairstyle. I know.
no,
I'm sure.
looking so good, looking
Yes,
like a teenage
You're
girl.
looking
Sonal.
beautiful.
Ah.
short
So
boy
what I like about Sonal is that no, it's she's very positive, always, even before this problem, and she's always full of smile and energy,
Full of
and
energy. Yeah.
I can't forget our this thing in the Cochin airport. I don't know, Sonal.
I was just going to
Hey,
mention that. He became more positive
that is
after
what,
I
that.
remember
no.
every line of that Cochin airport. Okay. That was the first time I met Dr. Mohan Rajan. I got introduced by Dr. Karubi Lahiri on a different way. I always knew you, sir, but I mean, as Dr. Karubi's friend, and I cannot forget every single line about the files in your bag to your one wife to
The grief case.
every,
Briefcase.
every single thing, sir. It has been such a lovely experience, and then from then on, I think it's always been a pleasure to
Mohan,
associate with
she
you.
Sonal,
became
these
much
are all
more
cherished
positive after
moments.
that.
No. Sonal, I think laughter, in my opinion, is the best medicine.
Best
Sonal.
Right.
Because if you keep laughing, that's what I tell my postgraduates also. Yeah, keep laughing. Yeah, you can learn ophthalmology anytime, but you enjoy. Keep laughing. I cut
I
jokes
agree.
with them. I know every day, and keep laughing. That's all, and you will feel better the next day. The next minute, you will feel better. Yeah.
The way Karobi
Keep,
does it.
you make other people also laugh around you. You imbibe a positive vibration around you.
No,
Otherwise,
I must
it's a
mention
very
something just now,
Mohan,
when I was
Mohan.
yeah.
Karobi is this thing, laughter is infectious. If she starts laughing, the all panel is going to laugh. So this is how we should do.
true. But I must tell you something because when I was calling up Mohan for this program, I think he was operating at that time. So like a very serious Mohan came online and he said yes. So I said, hey Karobi, yeah, I know you must be busy. So he said, okay, you tell me what you have to tell. So I said, okay, you just be on this panel and all. So that was on a serious note. Then slowly he's saying, anything for you, Karubi. So I said, this guy jokes even at that time.
Good.
So that is what it is. You make life easy. You make life very kind of smooth. It's not like about okay, theek hai, like of course we know you are busy and that gravity is there, but then you make light of that situation, which is a very good quality in you, Mohan.
No. I
Karobi,
think
I wanted.
if you are very stressed up, no, if you are making for example, I don't know, Kerobi, I'm sure you will all agree with me, Jignesh also, since
Yes.
all of us have worked in Shankar Netralia, it used to be a very tense atmosphere. No,
I know.
actually, me, Jignesh, and you and all,
Yes.
we all started laughing and made it slightly different. But if you are very tense, no, people will not be able to perform well.
Correct.
The whole atmosphere is it's a negative vibration around you. But keep laughing and like what Sonal, really hats off to you, Sonal. Really,
Yes.
my
Yes.
salutations to you, Sonal.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
really
So
fantastic.
today I am telling you it's I proudly can I mean I'm still going to take time to say this line and come up on the face and say that I'm a survivor. I mean, which is a very big thing. All right, but yeah, you proudly can go ahead and call yourself that now today, and you can say that yes, you've kind of gone ahead and I never said this. I never told this disease was my battle. I never said that it's my enemy. I just said that you've been in my body for a little while. You've enjoyed time for you to leave me because I've got lots to do for my daughter and my husband.
Yes.
So I just said
That
it's
is it.
not a battle. It's never been a battle.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's not my enemy because my body has never been my enemy. So I just said, I gave you time to be inside me for a little while. You've done your bit. It's time for you to just say goodbye to me in a nice way and let me do a lot more that I have to do in life for so many of my patients or my family and my friends. And I mean, yes, I don't expect too much out of it, but a few more years of life would definitely be worth it. It's like that. So
That is what we call as mind over matter, no? Because
Yes.
you have implanted the seed in your subconscious, so your subconscious really worked for you.
absolutely.
Quite right.
But I think, Karubi ma'am, it's been also just the fact that, when you have, as Sir says, Umesh has been my strongest support as my husband. And he's a man of, tremendous sense of humor. And, that's why that kind of keeps me laughing and making me enjoy life every minute. And, at this point, when my daughter obviously always says that, the first thing that I'm going to look in for a man when I find my husband is that he should have a good sense of humor. And I think that's so important, because it just is the driving force to live life.
Let's ask Kamal,
So
no,
true.
what was Manisha's contribution to all your.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he around you?
No, he's a little far away.
He's a little far away.
दूर से
Social,
सुन रहा है अभी कमल
social
को.
distancing.
But the house is so
Social
big. The house is so huge.
Huge, I know.
He's going to take some time to come.
I can call him to say hi.
Please call him, please call him.
Say hi to
Too
Manish.
far away.
So,
Hi,
yeah, he's
Manish.
coming to say hi once again. So his contribution was that he just left me alone, So he just gave me the space, and which I think was fair enough. He gave me the
Yeah,
space.
which is-
So I think
He has given,
That's really
Kamal,
important.
he has given you your own space. That is very important.
Hi.
Hi, Manish.
Hi.
How are you, Manish?
कहाँ गायब हो यार?
That is called sharing.
How's everyone?
Yay.
How
Well, how are you?
How are
Hi,
you?
Manish.
Great to see you.
Hi Mohan, how are you?
Hi. Hi. Fine, Manish.
Hi Nikhil, hi.
How's Daddy?
Sonal.
Hi, hi.
He's fine, he's fine.
Daddy is fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, Article, the
That is
Ajay
fine,
article,
that's
simply is so good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
Prashant.
to see you, Manish. Give our
Same
regards
here.
to your dad.
Same here, sir. Same
Yeah.
here.
And we had a really interesting session with
We
Kamal
were
opening up.
enthralled by
Yes.
He's like a
Kamal's
Sachin
talk.
Tendulkar and Sehwag, both inclusive. Fantastic this thing. And then
That's
the follow of
wonderful.
all the star panelists we had. And
Manish,
now
I thought you
the
were the best,
icing-
but
the
Kamal is
icing
better
on
than
the-
you.
He's the
Listen,
better half.
I know.
icing,
Best half.
The best half.
Manish, listen, the icing on the cake is you. Now that you have come up, it is absolutely now a star session. Fully.
Okay, now we asked this question to Kamal, but we'll ask you this question: that what was your contribution in her endeavors?
I think I had to just let her loose.
Give her the space.
I realized very soon that it's best that she just does what she wants to. Otherwise, it's trouble for me. So I
Or she
just
used to
let her
poke you
loose.
with a pencil every day.
Good, good. Nice talking to you, Manish. It
Same
was a
here,
pleasure
same
to
here,
have you
same here.
around. Yeah.
Good to see
Absolutely.
you around.
See you. Good to
See you soon in Mumbai in June.
Sure,
Yes.
sure,
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Yeah.
June.
Absolutely. Looking forward.
All right. See you.
Okay.
Manish, don't forget my elections, huh?
Anyway, we had a very nice, thorough discussion. The way it is going on, I think we need to respect the time. It can go on because we have got star panelists also, the star faculty, and the star moderator. So thanks a lot, each one of you, for coming and contributing in such a big way. Our topic today, the way it was, very well carried forward by all the panelists, the star panelists. My big thank you to Dr. Kamal. She has absolutely made it so vibrant and nice. Of course, Karobi, as usual, my close friend, Dr. Mohan Rajan, Dr. Nikhil Nasta, Usha Madam, and of course, Archana, the star moderator. And my close friend and the honorary secretary, Dr. Ajay Joshi, is quiet, but now he's going to open up to say the real vote of thanks. Mine is a little bit of it. He'll give the big thank you. Thanks the Antwoord people also and the August audience who had joined tonight. It's past 11 almost, and we are still enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, but we have to call it a day because we have to respect time of all the star faculties. Thank you, everybody. Each one
This
of
is
you.
what gives
Sonal,
you happiness.
including, sorry?
This is what gives you happiness.
Yes. My this thing is to have webinar daily, 9:30. What?
Yeah,
No, daily it will
9:30.
be toxic.
We can
Okay.
continue as a breakfast
Cutting
meeting
away.
tomorrow.
Sorry? Yeah. Now
Breakfast,
we'll have a
early morning breakfast meeting. Continue.
we'll have a video of the Antwoord people who have been very kind enough to always give the good technical backup, and then the real vote of thanks by our honorary secretary, Dr. Rajesh Joshi. Yes, Sayyed. Let's have a group photograph. I mean, the gallery view photograph first. Actually, you have already started. Anyway. My view will be as a go-home message or a take-home message is you give women their own space and see how they make the world so beautiful. Right, Kamal?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Very rightly said.
Yes, in one line. Otherwise, it's a big thing. We can always say, dilate it into a much more better way. But this is what I would like to say, a punchline. तुमको अपनी space दे दो and then you flower it up into and bloom up beautifully.
So Kamal
let's
ki tarah
have a
khileenge.
gallery.
Is that what you're saying, sir?
Sorry?
Kamal ki tarah khil jayenge. Is that what you're trying to say?
हाँ कमल के जैसे खिल जाए. Yes. क्या बात है निखिल. No wonder you are the celebrity here.
Thank you, Kamal. That was a lovely talk.
Yes,
Thank
it
you,
was
Archana,
lovely
for
being
moderating
here.
the session well, and thank you all the panelists for joining in. Now I hand it over to our
Let's have a gallery view photograph and then hand it over to Dr. Rajesh. Keep the video on, everybody. And a smiling face, everybody has it. Karobi has got a best smile, yeah. It's Kamal.
Nairobi is the best.
Done, sir.
bestest.
And thank you. Chalo, Rajesh, before
Yes,
people leave.
I think
Yes.
we can go on and on, it seems.
Yes.
That was really a wonderful discussion, truly beyond ophthalmology. I feel happy to be part of it. Dr. Kamal, thank you for your wonderful talk. We could not have asked a better person than you for today's talk. You are role model not only for women, but for men as well.
And all.
The talk was inspiring. To all who are watching, I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. On behalf of MOS, I thank you for sparing your valuable time and sharing thoughts. Many thanks to Dr. Mohan. Mohan, we missed you in last webinars.
He's been always been in majority of our webinars. That's why he's saying we missed you.
Dr. Karavi, Dr. Usha, Dr. Sonal, Dr. Nikhil for agreeing to be panelists and sharing your views and making it interesting. You people are none less than celebrity. Thank you, Dr. Archana, for conducting the session so well. I also applaud
Thank
the
you, sir.
initiative of Dr. Kaswala, our president. Wonderful initiative, sir. I'm also thankful to all those who have joined on virtual platform, and thanks to Entor for the technical support. Thank you all and good night.
Good night. Thank you,
Good night.
everybody.
Thank you.
It was a very good
Have a-
session.
Thanks to Vignesh.
Vignesh, thank you so much.
Thank
You
you,
become
sir.
the superstar.
Superstar.
Really,
Yes.
Baba. I try to get all the superstars here.
You are the superstar.